Good morning, gang. About to show you I set up an oven for powder coating. Everything's going well until screw in, and for some reason they now change the fittings for the burners, so I'm gonna have to go and get another one. So annoying. There we go. Testing me oven. A gas burner underneath. Just going up to 200. Just want to burn all the crap out the inside. This will be my powder coating oven. Not much smoke left in there. Oh yeah. It used to be an oil drum. Just let all the heat out. But yeah, even second-hand ovens were like 500, and I'm like, this one cost me about $100. No, a bit more because I had to buy the burner. I thought I had a burner, but I didn't. So well, under $200 anyway. This cost me under 200. I had all the insulation. Yeah. And my wife said, "Ooh, we can cook inside there." I said, "No, you can't. It'll be toxic by the time I'm done." So, because they said you can't use your oven at home because of the chemicals from the powder. It's not healthy to cook in that same oven again. So. Vice versa, I guess. Yeah. So, but I don't know if that old gauge is accurate. It starts at 50 degrees. The needle doesn't go all the way back to 0, so I'd say it's buggered. I imagine it's well and truly 200 in there. Doesn't take much to get to 200. But I've got this little gizmo anyway. So I'll just see how high it gets on the gauge. I've only just turned it on. Don't know if you can see. And the wind is still blowing the flames. I should close it more. Yeah, and some more lights. When the wind is blowing the flames, it had a bit of trouble getting hot. But now, what's it up to now? 250 Fahrenheit. It's what? 100 and something Celsius. I think it needs to be 200 Celsius. So, we'll see. Anyway, this is my powder coating oven. And all I gotta do now is set that up. And, yeah, give it a crack. And show you the result. I guess we'll find out when I put the metal in there and preheat it. And see how hot it gets, right? And we'll know. So then I'll be able to measure the temperature of the product. So still smoking all the crap inside. Not sure if you can see that, but it is. Well, the bottom of the drum is 250, so can't be much. Must be pretty similar inside, I imagine. I guess we'll find out when I put the metal in there and preheat it and see how hot it gets, right? Then we'll know. So then I'll be able to measure the temperature of the product. So still smoking. Anyway, here's the kit I got off Amazon. It's to turn on the circuit. So yeah, it came separated, but they said, oh, I just put it back together. Sort of, it's upside down. Should be fine. Getting a bit of smoke in here from that drum. So we'll see what the result is. I'll start with the. Maybe I'll try that little part first, and we'll see. Alright, so here's the powder I use, satin black. Yeah, I didn't want really glossy, shiny black under the hood. Like, I don't want to draw attention anyway. So I don't want really shiny parts. And most parts, I think factory black is like a matty, satiny looking. It's not like full-on gloss, you know, like mirror gloss stuff under the bonnet. So yeah, so I just went for a satin. I didn't go for full matte, I went for satin. So there's the oven, and it worked. I lost my train of thought now. I've got a nice coat. I used acetone to wipe it down. Some people say don't wipe, just spray, but I wiped it down with a new cloth, brand new lint-free cloth. Temperature measurement, my Amazon kit. Kind of came out in big blobs at 10 psi, so I may have to lower the psi, because when I squeezed the handle only a little bit, it seemed to work better. Any Perth people out there that know my channel, that want a plasma cutter, let me know. They're welcome to come and get it. It works probably up to about 4 or 5 mil thick. No, probably more, 5 to 7 mil thick. But that's about it. Yeah. And here is the finished result. A satin black motor plate, and I'm quite pleased with it. It's my first powder coating job, so yeah, I think it will turn out pretty well. Of course, I'm only going to get better. Oh, we still got to cut off the bit of wire that I had there holding it. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. So next will be a front cover. I don't think there's any differences in the covers. I know there's differences in the gaskets. Like, some of them came out with these, and some of them came out with a different one, but they use mostly O-rings. So they use O-rings and like I forget what they call it, silicon stuff, engine assembly stuff. So But I'm just going to use gaskets like this. I think it'll be fine. I'm not sure what's... Actually, yeah, I do know, because this came off my HO. So I do know, it came out with one of those. So, and so did this one. Memory. Oh, look. Does that work then? No. This is recessed. That would stop these from working. Okay. I've got one more up there. Let me have a look at that one, see if it's the same. See, here is one with recessed water. This one here is flush. Right, so this one came off the HO. No, sorry, it came off this one. It came off this one. Where's the one that came off my HO? I wouldn't have stored that upstairs. Do I have another one? Can't see any. Mysterious. I've got it hanging up somewhere. No. That's a flywheel and clutch under there. Well, I'll be. Where did this one come off? The engine outside under the veranda still has a cover on it. So that's different too. There's a ledge here. See? Otherwise they look the same. Yeah, this one came off the engine that came out of this. Alright, I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm not gonna waste your time. Solved. That was on those shells we just looked at. This is the ones off the overland, which is also flat. So we'll stick with that. And this one was flat, and this came off the 99. And this is supposed to have seals, and they're in the kit actually. They come in the kit as well, and as well as silicone. But what happened to this engine in the red vehicle that I'm doing now is they put both. Yeah, they put the seals in, and they used, instead of silicone or engine assembly compound, they used one of these. as well. And what happened is, for some reason, these seals by this gasket got pushed out, and it was like went into it and did nothing. These two, they were like all deformed, and I think that's part of the problem with it leaking and overheating. So yeah, so this is a 99. This is a 2001, a 2002. The black one is a 2002, and I'm not sure what year the HO is out of. I presume that is, the Overland must be a later model too. Not a 99, that's for sure. So, is there a way of finding out what year that motor is? Let me know. Is there a way by checking the engine number or something like that? So I'll probably just use the HO one again. I'll powder coat that. That'll be fun. Lots of things to block. Except they had a bit of a sealing problem. They always have a sealing problem, these things. The thermostat. Because the plastic housings, they buckle. And if you over tighten them, they bow and leak. That's the problem. People think, oh, nice and tight, and they tighten them a little bit too much and they leak out here and there, and then they keep tightening them. Before you know it, they're like a banana. The seal does that. So, alright, that's the one I'll use, and I'll put these in storage. Haha. So, my next powder coating job is that one. Is it filming? Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for watching if you're this far in. And next episode may have the engine block. I should go and visit the engineering shop that's doing it, or at least the heads maybe. If they'd done the engine block, I'm sure they would have contacted me. They've got the head studs. Balancing the engine, I need the crank rods and pistons for that. They're here, so they're definitely not up to that yet, I guess. I hope they've started. Anyway, we'll see. Catch you in the next episode. Be good.